So today we're speaking with Meji Alabi. The work of London-based director and photographer Meji bridges the gap between African and Western markets across a range of visual mediums, including music video, photography, advertising campaigns, magazine editorials, and artist branding. Okay. Now, Meji has directed music videos for a variety of British artists, including grime legend Skepta, singer-songwriter Jorja Smith, and Kojo Funds. His career spans the US and the Caribbean too, working with Tory Lanez, stars such as Popcaan, and let's not forget the whole host of Afrobeat stars Meji has directed for. We're talking about Tiwa Savage, Wizkid, Davido, Burna Boy, big stars. We met in Nigeria a few years ago, but we haven't had a proper chance to catch up. So I'm really looking forward to getting to know Meji Alabi.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you guys? Thank you for having me, on your chat. I'm a big fan of.
We're excited, and thank you for joining us. So today we're going to chop, chat, chill. So in the chop section, we'll be talking about food and things that nourish you. And then in the chat section, we'll be talking about the topic that you wanted us to share and discuss. And then when we get to the chill, we'll be wrapping up with things on culture, music, and travel.
Cool. So let's chop. If you were cooking for one of your heroes, who would you cook for? What would you cook for them? And why?
Wow. That's a good one. I mean, I guess it depends on the hero. So what would I cook? I mean, I'm not really that savvy in the kitchen, but I'm able to follow a recipe. But something that I love is probably what I would make. And, I think I enjoy barbecuing and I enjoy a plantain as well. You know what I mean? So I would say I'd probably make dodo for them. You know what I mean? It's right up in the pan. I think everybody can appreciate, good plantain. Depends on how, how sweet or how you like it. You know what I mean? But I like mine. I don't like mine too soggy. You know what I mean? Certain people like
quite
soggy.
firm.
I like mine a little bit more firm, and sprinkle some salt on it. It's good to go. So I'd make plantain for them, or beans. I like Nigerian beans a lot. Like a lot of people don't. I don't know. It's one of those things that I actually don't get to eat as much as I would like to. Yeah. But that's kind of my what's it called? I wouldn't say guilty pleasure. It's just pleasure. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's what I would make for them. Yeah.
And who would you be?
And beans. So I guess in Ghana is red. They would call it actually.
Can you say that again?
I said in Ghana it would be red because that's what they serve. They serve the beans and the plantain together at all times. So yeah, that's what I would probably make them, even though I'm Nigerian.
And which hero? Who would you be cooking for?
Oof, that's a good question. A hero is a strong. You have to really think about your heroes. Not just anybody can.
Yeah, no, just any celeb, lad. You know what I mean? This is a video.
Yeah, I mean, look, it'd be fun to cook for, Muhammad Ali. Fun to cook for, let's say Barack Obama. That'd be cool, to sit down and have a chat with him. He seems like a real person, like somebody you could have a laugh with. It'd be fun to cook for Fela. You know what I mean? And see what he's saying. So yeah, I would say, those three people are, I think that's a strong list.
I think that's literally punching, you know what I mean? Some beans. On that note, by the way, I understand what you mean about Nigerian beans. They're like,
no, they hit a spot.
They hit a spot.
But funny enough, I didn't like them growing up.
No, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people would say okay, cool, jollof rice, fried rice. I'm like, but I really actually do like beans. And as you said, with some plantain, around the table, man like Barack, Muhammad on one side, Fela with the beans. Man's got no top, no shirt on, little sack.
Yeah, just passing. You got the bread there as well. Like life is good, man.
That's a vibe. That's a pure vibe. That's a pure vibe.
Okay, so let's get into the chat. You'd wanted to speak about being London-based but creating businesses back home in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe if you could start by just telling us a bit more about your businesses and also how you find actually managing that.
Well, obviously I started out in London, and it was through filmmaking and through creativity that brought me back into the fold in Nigeria, and kind of brought me like back to reconnect to my culture. So I find that it's I have a production company, JM Films, out here, but in Nigeria we're also operating a local production company, and some 2D and 3D design businesses as well, and also a local fixing company which helps service productions when they come from other countries and want to shoot in Nigeria. So for me, I think that I find it inspiring for I've seen other Nigerian people who are based in the UK go back home, and they go there to live and create businesses. Obviously, I haven't had that opportunity to live back at home yet, but that's obviously by design. It's something that I'm still working on, because I have certain ambitions and goals that I would like to reach out here before I pour over for good. I don't, if I do decide to do that, and obviously I have a family here as well, so there's many things to think about. But I also think that there is an opportunity for us who are out in the diaspora to bring our talents back home and bring what we know and what we've learned, and what we've been exposed to out here back home, and develop bigger businesses, and also do it on a higher level, and how can I explain? Expand it further than we actually could imagine, because out here, I mean, there's much red tape. There's a lot of barriers to entry, and it's also super expensive, and sometimes your creativity can be limited by your resources out here, and I mean everywhere. But I feel like when you go back home, there's just a wealth of opportunity, and people are welcoming that, and they want our talents. They want to see it grow, and they want to see how we can how can I explain how we can just build let me start again. We could just build greater businesses out there. Like, for example, you guys' restaurant is amazing. What you've done in the UK is fantastic. I've watched it grow. I've watched from the smaller events to now, like, you have your own brick and mortar place, which is fantastic. I find that like absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see whenever you decide to open the huge the big one, or I don't know, like, I don't even know what the plan is, but I know it's somewhere there, because I know you're like, I know that he's plotting in the back of his mind somewhere. So when you do go back home and open up something there, who knows, it could be like the next biggest chain, or if that's what you want, or it could be like the restaurant that everybody has to go to when they land in Lagos. Like, have you heard of this place? You know what I mean? Like, you can scale up, is what I'm getting at. And the scale is actually almost immeasurable. Like, you don't have, I mean, I wouldn't say the competition is not high. There's loads of people there who are doing great stuff, but there's just space in the market for you, as a black person, as a black man and black woman. There's space in the market, for you to grow, and that's kind of the beauty of actually seeing the opportunity back home, which I wish more of us took advantage of. So that's kind of, for me, I've really benefited from that, and I've benefited from the Afrobeats revolution, taking over the world as well with the music, with the likes of Burna, David, Wizkid, or Davido, sorry, and Wizkid, and Tiwa Savage, Malik Berry, all these guys making huge waves internationally, has put such a spotlight on Africa. And if we can apply that, that popularity and stuff and bring it back home, in a sense, I think there's much to gain. So yeah, long-winded answer, but I think I got there somewhere,
No, that's really good. obviously, I think it's really important what you said. Like, you know, it's not about the fact that there's not any competition, right? Like, there's competition wherever you go, but actually, we're talking about green space and a kind of like space to stretch one's wings, and also, I think, stretch what is the realms of possibility, and like, you know, that actually you can actually go and really create, and actually create, you know, industries, create little pockets, whereas maybe they're here in other Western markets where they're so developed, you know, there's not that sort of just room to kind of grow that.
Well, we're having a you know, there's obviously like a huge discussion on you know, certain topics that, you know, it's been going on for a while now, and one of the things is you know, opportunity for Black people in advertising, right? In the UK, for example, it's very difficult to get opportunities in commercials and things like that, and that's because there's a system that's been created that doesn't allow opportunities for somebody like me to enter that. You know what I mean? But I do commercials in Africa all the time. Do you know what I mean? So and it's actually it makes sense for me economically. Do you know what I mean? So that just kind of shows that sometimes, like, don't discount what you don't know. Just like, and that's why I'm very, that's why I promote, you know, African enterprise so much, because a lot of people don't know that one of the most lucky things that you have right now is actually being African, and being able to, and being Nigerian, let's say, and being able to explore this opportunity of this country that has so much money, has so many people, and so much opportunity. Most people don't actually know that. They're just in the UK struggling and working hard, and it's great. I mean, you know, work as hard as you can, but there's actually an avenue that is untapped that a lot of people haven't seen. So, you know, I try and promote that, you know, go back home. I had never been to Nigeria before 2010. I went for the first time on a family visit. The second time I came was the time that you met me. That was my second time in Nigeria. Okay. So that was the first time I went with a camera. So the first time I went was just literally a family visit. I went to Ilorin. I met, you know, I saw my grandpa and family, and I kind of, you know, saw where my family's from. And the second time was when we met, and then that's when I started going more regularly, and I saw the opportunity. I said, "Wow, there's young people doing amazing things out here."
At what point was it that you actually, like, you saw that opportunity? Obviously, you've gone 2010, and then we went it was 2013, I think.
Yeah,
was it on that trip, or the trip before, or was it subsequent trips where you suddenly thought, there's something?
I mean, this is going to sound very superficial, but on that trip, I saw guys jumping out of SLSs. I saw young people my age jumping out of G-Wagons. And I said, wait a second, like, how? How does that, where does this come from? And how do I, you know, and there's something happening over here that I'm not seeing, because guys in the UK aren't doing this. They're not doing this. And maybe, you know, who knows? Maybe they had rich parents at the time, but that kind of clicked in my mind that said, there's a lifestyle that these guys are living that is awesome, and it's quite cool, and they clearly are doing things as well. It's not like I can hear them in their conversation talking about the businesses and the opportunities and what they're trying to make. And I said, no way. And I want to be a part of this, and I want to build my own. And I want to, you know, be able to come back home and say, yeah, I'm doing this and that, and be proud of myself. You know, my dad always spoke about Nigeria to me in a great way. You know, a lot of people's parents out here, when I try and bring them to Nigeria, they say, oh, no, don't go. You know, people are looking for you. They're scared, and their parents have instilled a fear in them, like, about not going home. You know, but my dad, luckily, he's always promoted it to me as in, like, yes, it's land of opportunity. You know, you come from a great background. To the point that, you know, when I'm going, I'm seeing it as in, like, okay, you know, this place isn't dangerous. Actually, people are living here, and it's fine. And you know, my grandfather is doing amazing. You know, and you know, he has a big part to play in Nigeria's history as well. So it was inspiring for me. You know what I mean? And yeah.
So I think your perspective is really interesting, because I think one could maybe have come across you and think, oh, Meji probably grew up his whole life going to Nigeria every summer. And I think it's so, and even the fact that you said, the fact that you live here but you work over there, because I think sometimes the narrative suggests that you have to move now, like you have to go back home. And for some people, they almost want to get involved, but the leap feels too big. So I think it would almost be interesting to understand a bit more about, because you keep talking about Nigeria as home, and almost like developing a bit more like what home means to you, because I think that's something that those of us who part of the diaspora, that question of like where is home, and something we maybe think a lot about.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think it was just my dad. Again, he always said like, this is home. But he also at the same time, we were in an argument, not an argument yesterday, we were in a conversation yesterday, and he said, yeah, I'm a British citizen and this is also my home. You know what I mean? So like for me, the UK, yes, I was born here, it is home. It's wonderful, but I also spent like, my formative years, like 10 years in America, hence why my voice isn't like a pure British accent. So I've always had that kind of like, where is home for me? I've always been a outsider wherever I am. Until once I moved out of the UK, I moved to America, and I was an African with an English accent at one point. Do you know what I mean? And then my English accent faded away, and I was an African. And I moved back to the UK, and I'm somebody with an American accent who's now in the UK. People see me kind of as like, where is that guy from? And I go to Nigeria, and unfortunately, I don't speak Yoruba, and they might see me as JJC. You know what I mean? So, or Johnny Just Come. So I've always had that kind of feeling of kind of being an outsider, but at the same time, my name is as Nigerian as it gets. I've always been surrounded by Nigerian culture. Both of my parents are both very very Nigerian, of course, like 100%. So it's always been something that I guess I've been proud of. It's always been in the back of my mind. So when I was able to go back to Nigeria, and when I'm shooting on set and I'm looking around and I'm seeing all these people passionate about something that I'm passionate about, and I don't feel out of place, it's a beautiful thing. So it kind of grew onto me as home. At one point, I didn't identify. I mean, I identified as Nigerian, but I didn't identify Nigeria as home, because I was not. I had never really been. I hadn't experienced it in my own way. You have to really experience it in your own way. Your parents can say so much to you, but you need to go there, be around the people, catch a vibe, and then it starts to connect. And you feel it. You know what I mean? So we have our English side, we have our Nigerian side. We're lucky to have that duality, and be able to tap into both of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing.
Ife and I know what you mean. Trust me. We've had going back home for us is that it kind of cemented that idea that it is home. Literally, when someone tells you welcome home, you're just like, wow, okay, cool. That's it's a beautiful feeling. I just wanted to just very quickly touch on. You mentioned that obviously you don't speak Yoruba. And I just want to touch on like some of the kind of potential personal and business challenges that you kind of see like going between the UK and Nigeria or other African markets. You mentioned about like the difference between the amount of red tape, maybe language barriers, the fact that you may have a family in the UK and vice versa. Like how does that work out for you, and how do you kind of like take that all in your stride?
Oh gosh, I kind of missed the first bit of that question. Sorry, can you just repeat the first part of that question?
Yeah, I was just asking about the various kind of personal and potential business challenges from language barriers, differences in working cultures, to actually being away maybe from family and having to spend significant amount of time on a plane. And I just want to know, like, what are the challenges that you kind of see, and how do you kind of take that all in your stride?
Yeah, so let's talk about JM Films in particular. I'm blessed to have a business partner who has you know, grown up in Nigeria and who has, you know, who knows how to navigate the market very well. So that allows me to, you know, I mean, obviously I've learned from him, but I also focus a lot on the creative side of things. So it's a lot of making sure that, you know, I represent the culture properly, but I also, you know, represent it in a light that is, I guess you could say, palatable for an international audience as well. A lot of the artists want to branch out of Nigeria, and they want people in the UK to watch their videos and listen to their music as well. I've managed to you know, the way I conceptualize things is obviously due to the way I was brought up. I was brought up outside of Nigeria, but within Nigerian culture. So that allows me to tap into, you know, the other side, but also stay true to what's important, you know, which is the culture. So I think people have, you know, really appreciated that. In terms of you know, barriers to entry and or you know, missing the family, I think that's just kind of it's a byproduct of, or missing the family, for example, is a byproduct of kind of the work that we do. But, you know, we try to balance it as best as possible by, you know, making the home time as wholesome as possible. You know, spend as much time, you know, with the kids, and, you know, they watch the videos and they know the songs, and we dance in front of the TV when we can. But we just try and, you know, I try to make up for the time gone. Obviously, you know, due to the pandemic that's you know, that we've all dealt with over this, you know, over in 2020. Due to that, I've spent more time in the country than I've ever spent in the past, like, I would say 6 years. I started, really. So, you know, it's been really good, actually. It's been really good to, you know, to spend that consistent time with the family and the kids. So I guess, I hope I answered your question, but everything kind of happened.
No, you answered it.
Yeah.
You did. Thank
Should
you.
we chill?
Yes, chill. You can go.
Okay, so you've shared a lot about your learnings, I guess, over time, and we're curious to know if you were recommending a book to teenage version of you, what would it be and why?
Ooh. Teenage Meji.
Oh, I think he's
and I'm just gonna find kind of funny. I don't read too much, but you know, I don't want to sound cliche, but you know, the 48 law. Whoa, oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah. You've just come back.
Yeah,
Will I just repeat the question, Ife?
Yeah.
So if you were recommending a book to teenage you, what would it be and why?
So it might sound a bit cliche, but, you know, it's the book that I read a few years ago, and, you know, it's actually the 48 Laws of Power. And I know that everybody like, you know, that book. To be honest, it's actually if you don't follow all the laws as if they were real laws, then, but you take it and as the knowledge and understand the interactions with certain people and how people kind of act. It's like it really can help you plan the way you navigate and the way you interact with people, and when somebody's trying to maybe get one over on you and stuff, or trying to force their hand on you, you can see it, because the book kind of writes out like different character profiles and how certain people react to certain things and how you should react to certain things, and when you should sometimes let things go and sit back, and another time. So I, as a teen, you know, I think that book would be quite you know, quite vital. But at the same time, maybe my mind wouldn't have been developed enough to understand those concepts, and I would have applied them in the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? Because now, if you read that book, and you apply the laws, you're gonna be a really bad person. Bad person. That's it. But if you understand those laws, you understand when somebody's trying to do one of those things to you, then you can you know, wriggle your way out of it, or kind of steer clear of that person, or know that, you know, that's not the way I want to handle things. So I think I would give myself that book as a teen, because when I read it as an adult, I was like, wow, so this is what this person was trying to do to me. Wow, okay, I see. Okay, oh my goodness. Okay, so, you know what I mean? I had so many revelations while reading it. So yeah, maybe that book.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I think I think it's important. Like, no one's really kind of touched on that. That at the same time, like, while there's like all this like knowledge that you would have in like a book or a text, like, and you deep it now. If you read it at a complete different age, where your kind of mind's like, what's important to you is completely different. You kind of take a whole different spin. But I wanted to just know, like, you touched on that you grew up in the US, and that you now obviously in the UK, and you kind of go to Nigeria a lot. But I imagine you've gone around a lot of the world with all your work and maybe a travel holiday. What is your favorite travel memory?
Oh, goodness. I mean, that's a very tough one, man. Gosh, I have so many, so many. Yeah, I told one on Instagram yesterday, where me and my friend, we finished shooting video in Johannesburg and went to Cape Town. We went, and we thought, oh, why don't we go hike up the mountain today, right? And so we did. We drove up to the foot of what we thought was Table Mountain in Cape Town, but it was really Devil's Peak. We climbed to it. We thought we'd just do a real quick 3-hour hike up to the top. We had one bottle of water and a pack of mints. So we did the 3-hour hike to the top. That was fine. It was cool. We made it to the top. We're at the top. We're like, looking around. And then we're like, okay, so where's the cable car? Because everybody hikes to the top of Table Mountain, and then they take the cable car down. But we were not on Table Mountain. We were on Devil's Peak. So we looked over there is Table Mountain, and like in the distance, you can see the small little cable car. Yeah. So there's no way we can make it there. You know what I mean? So we actually had to hike back down the mountain. Obviously, by now our water's finished. We finished this mints. You know, it was a farce in the end. And so we spoke to one guy, right? And he said, oh man, you've already hiked up this way. You might as well go around the other way down, see some different views. I said, yeah, why not? He's like, it's the same distance. But I think this guy was like a trail runner. He looked like he was running up and down the mountain. You know what I mean? So we ended up starting to walk that way down the mountain, and it was a very, very long, like, treacherous route. You know what I mean? We saw some tourists on the way. They gave us one banana, which me and him shared. Obviously, we're out of water. It's hot. People get stuck on this mountain all the time, and helicopters come and lift them off. There's water that's rushing through the mountain, like, and it rushes through the brush. So, I'm trying to Google, is it safe to drink? But there's not really that much network. Network comes like every now and then, But finally, I did notice that, they said you can drink it. So you put the bottle into the water, and the water is yellow. It's like completely yellow. But they say that you can drink it because it's like it washes through the brush in the mountain, like the twigs and leaves and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we drank the yellow water, and finally made it off the mountain like 10 hours later. And our plan was to go out that night. In Cape Town. It was fun, but like once we got back to the place, like I couldn't even move my legs. I was laying on the couch like Rick James and Dave Chappelle, if you remember. Yeah, that's what I felt. But yeah, that's one crazy story. But listen, I mean, we've been so many different places. I have so many different stories, from Cape Town to Dubai to Ghana, and places in Nigeria. Crazy things happen all the time. Tanzania. One time I was shooting. This is just sad and crazy. One time I was shooting, and all of a sudden a light pole just fell, and there were two kids walking.
There were two what?
Kids walking, and it hit one of them. Oh. They had to, and this was during our shoot. They had to carry the kid and take him to the hospital. Luckily, they were fine. But you're just watching, like, crazy things happen all the time in so many different shooting situations, man. So like, luckily I've been blessed that, you know, everybody's always been safe. You know, we've always managed to get out of it. We've always, you know, managed to, you know, in Nigeria, area boys coming up to you at any time of the day. One time we went to get a shot on a bridge, and there was like a gang of area boys following us on bicycles. Not bicycles, on Okada, right? So we stop on the bridge to get because we need to get this shot where we lock off the whole motorway. And all of a sudden Okada pulls up next to us, an area boy is on it, and somebody knocks on the back of our window. Guess who's on the back of the area boy's bike? A police officer. You know, so wait, you're thinking in your head like, how does this make sense?
Yeah.
Aren't you're the police officer, but you're with the boys. So you're funny as well. You know what I mean? So it was just like all these funny things happen, man. But you know, luckily,
You've always been well.
I think we've always been blessed, and it's never been really dangerous for us. It's always been, you know, it's always been smiles. You know, and that's the thing with Nigeria. When people, you know, it's not like Johannesburg and other places. Like most Nigerian people aren't inherently violent, or you know, and African people in general aren't like super violent. They just, you know, everybody's just hustling. So once you understand the hustle, you can, you know how to speak to people and how to navigate those situations. You know, and obviously once you have a good team around you as well.
We're due to wrap up shortly, but final question. What would you say is your life mantra?
Life mantra, forward always. Yeah, just keep moving forward, and don't look back, and don't try to you know, and always get up. You know, like I always said when I'm doing this production thing, you know, when it got difficult for me, when I wasn't getting the opportunities I wanted to get, you know, I said, and you know, I finished uni, I did accounting and finance, you know, I got first class, and I always said to myself, you know, like, if you stop this now, you know, you can either lay down and die. Is why I literally make it like that to myself. You can either lay down and die, or you can get up and just keep going and do the work, and it will eventually pay off. And you know, it started to pay off, let's say. So we thank God.
Well, thank you, Meji. It's been really great to like catch up and hear so much about your work and also some amazing travel stories. So wish you all the best with your other projects, and we will speak to you soon.
Take care.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.